Want to know why I think Icelandair is fantastic? Join me on this trip from Reykjavik to Stockholm on the classic 757 in Saga business class. Let's see if you agree. It's very early in the morning at Keflavik airport and I'm feeling rough after sampling some of Reykjavik's nightlife last night. It was great and it was worth it, but I'm a little annoyed I didn't get to sleep in. It's kind of packed down here in the C zone bus gates, Reykjavik. Kind of not the nicest departure experience in the dark at 7 a.m. But we're gonna go board a 757 now, and I haven't flown one of those in some years. Can't wait to see it. I had booked this flight back to Stockholm for the afternoon, actually, but they messed with the schedules and now I have to fly in the morning. The silver lining? I'm now on one of their classic 757s, which is of course the most beautiful single-aisle plane ever built, right? I'm flying Icelandair's Saga business class today, and within seconds I'm handed a little shot of smoothie. That's nice. This is a lot like what you might get flying domestic first class in the US in terms of cabin layout. I really like this setup, and with the seat free next to me, I'm very happy. More on all that once we get airborne though, and hopefully see a bit of daylight eventually.
I'm expecting about 10 minutes taxi time. The takeoff is towards the north, like that to Stockholm is 3 hours.
Roll level lighting indicates the way to the exits. In an emergency, proceed to the nearest usable exits, and your life jacket is either under your seat or your armrests. Put the life jacket over your head.
That 757 engine sound as you turn onto the runway, it transports me right back to the late 90s and early 2000s. Anyone else? This entertainment system kept resetting on me. Mostly that meant that I had to watch the same ad 10 times to put the moving map back on. Not the end of the world, but it does feel like an older system that's now glitching out a bit. Still, you do have quite a bit to choose from for entertainment, and hopefully most of these are working better. Now let's get to one of the highlights of this flight, this drink menu, which by the way also has snacks. This was just before Christmas, so it's got that theme going, but anyway. Alongside the usual offerings, you've got some special Icelandic selections. There's also some surprising cocktails and some really nice beers. Some decent wines and champagnes too. And then the gin library. I mean, how incredible is this? I'm gonna have to take a longer flight with Icelandair and one that doesn't leave early in the morning to sample this properly at some point. And here we have some snacks, including a chocolate bar inspired by the scary Icelandic Yule cat. The story goes that the cat lurks around and eats people who haven't received any new clothes by Christmas time. Adding insult to injury, really. Apparently this was used by farmers to motivate workers to finish processing wool before Christmas. But I'm getting off track. Look at all this tasty stuff. Funny enough, there wasn't actually a menu for the meal. I was served this, and it was really fresh and good. Perhaps there is a menu when it's a lunch or dinner service and there are choices to be made, I don't know. If any of you do know, please put it in a comment, I'm curious. I was already having lots of fun before I discovered Santa with a ham leg in the lavs. What else can I say about that? It's certainly the best thing I've ever seen in an airplane bathroom. The rest of it is looking pretty dated, but it's funny how even a lavatory can evoke nostalgia. As do these overhead panels and lights. This is exactly what flying looked like when I was a kid. And the sunrise is good news because it means we get better and better light for appreciating this wing and engine view, which is made all the more glorious by the yellow paint on the engine.
About halfway into this flight, and 757 is just brilliant, even though it's kind of loud. If you're used to some of the newer planes, this one feels clearly louder. Engine and air noise both combining, but it's so great. That wing looks so good, and the yellow engine. Oh, lovely flight, really nice service, friendly service, but also plenty of interesting things to choose from. And these seats, you know, they're old school, but nicely so. They're quaint, you know, and for a 3-hour flight, especially with no one next to me, perfect. I'll gladly take that. But, you know, I guess on a longer flight, these Saga Premium seats might feel a little bit lacking. They're like a domestic American first class, a little better. Maybe a little more legroom than your sort of average, but I like it. It brings me back. It gives me nostalgia, especially combined with the 757. I've flown a lot of these machines. So fantastic experience with Icelandair so far. I would love to try them again on a longer flight, actually. See how that is. 7 or 8 hours in one of these seats. Let's give this thing a little recline. It goes back pretty far. The person in front of me hasn't reclined, and I don't know how it would be if they did. Maybe a little bit irritating. If I had someone next to me and the person in front reclined and I wanted to get out, it might not be the best, but hey, that's not happening right now, so I'm going to enjoy this. It was like 1999 all over again, in totally a good way. Big thumbs up from me.
Can you even handle all this Nordic beauty? I can't get enough. It's a funny thing about me, actually. I really like heat and the beach, and yet I'm drawn to the northern latitudes over and over. There's something about it that pulls me in. And by the way, if you've made it this far and you're enjoying the video, it would mean the world to me if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. As I'm just starting out with this, those early likes and subscriptions and shares mean a great deal. Thank you for your support. The rest of the flight passed quickly and smoothly, and we made an approach into a very cloudy Stockholm. This was a fantastic flight. I can't believe I never flew Icelandair before this, and I'm looking forward to flying them again as soon as possible. If you've flown with Icelandair, I'm curious to know if you had a similarly great experience. I've heard people complain about this business class seat for long haul, and that's understandable. But still, there's something about what Icelandair is offering here. It really appeals to me. Let me know what you think.
Tack för att välja Icelandair. Verið þið sæl.
Thanks for coming along. Fly safe, and I'll catch you next time. I'm Gabe Lee, and this is Air Edition.